Hi, my name's Andrew. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to review what I found after reading 500 pitch decks in 9 months. If you watch my previous videos, you know that you can click my Fiverr link below to get information on investor databases for venture capital, private equity, angel groups, family investment offices, and more. I also help clients with pitch deck reviews, and this is what most of this video is going to be about. Approximately 80% of the pitch decks that I receive are not suitable to be sent out to investors. So if you check my Fiverr profile below, you can see that I've been working on Fiverr for a couple years, and in the past 2 years I've helped over 190 clients with their fundraising initiatives, pitch decks, investor databases, and targeting, and more. So this video highlights how I assist clients with reviewing and rewriting pitch decks for their fundraising initiatives. So briefly, a recent message I just received on Fiverr. The Fiverr buyer says, "Hi Andrew, I saw your service on Fiverr and I hope you can help me. I've been fundraising for 3 months, but to be honest, I'm drowning here," and this is exactly their exact words, "I'm drowning here and have had no success getting in any investors." So I sent them back a message saying, "Can you send me your pitch deck?" And they said, "What is a pitch deck?" And I replied, "Please tell me you're joking, right?" And I was quite shocked by this, so I actually sent this particular client a note saying, "You can try to go to my gig. I've got a ultimate guide to raising funds. It's $5. It helps people do pitch decks, business plans, and all kinds of other things. 140 pages packed full of everything you need to help with your fundraising." I never heard back from this particular person, and they were subsequently blocked. But yes, it's in 2023, and somebody who says they've been fundraising for 3 months and is drowning, no success, doesn't know what a pitch deck is. Secondly, the worst business plan I received from a Fiverr contact. Fiverr buyer sent me a message saying, "Hi Andrew, I was wondering if you can help me find investors for our groundbreaking idea. We have a revolutionary idea that can provide brain transplants using AI created robots. We're looking for $50 billion in funding." Yes, that's a billion in funding. I replied, "Your business plan does not show any medical tests, research material, or peer-reviewed reports that can validate if this procedure is even possible." I'm not sure if they can do brain transplants, but I assume they can't. I do not think any of my investors would look at that, and they replied in capitals very loudly, "You are like many people who have a negative mindset that shouts down anything that you do not understand." And this is the whole point of this video, is I actually don't have a negative mindset about things like that, but there's the information that they sent was incomplete and didn't have any bearing, and there's no way that they should be asking people for any funding, no matter how outrageous the idea may be. Some pitch deck facts and statistics. 1,000 pitch decks get created every day in San Francisco alone, so you can multiply that by the rest of the United States and UK and Europe and Canada and Asia, and it's a big business. Prices for pitch decks can range from $100 to over $10,000 if it's a big corporate pitch deck. So it's a wide range, and again, it's a very, very big business. It typically takes over 100 to 1,000 investors to view your pitch deck before you get any funding. Some never get any funding at all, so that's something to keep in mind, that it takes a lot of work to get funding, and again, 100 to 1,000 investors have to view your pitch deck before you get funding. So the true key to funding: so a pitch deck alone will not get you funded, a great business will. So you have to can you honestly say that your business is successful or definitely solves a problem or improves on current products in the market? And again, I've received about 500 pitch decks from people who want my advice. Not everybody takes it, obviously. Some people just never come back to me depending on what service they're looking for. They're not all looking for pitch deck reviews. but I do get them to send me their pitch deck so I can at least take a look at it. So again, does your business solve a problem or improves on a current product in the market? And that's the key thing that you have to ask yourself. The pitch deck significance, so it's really simple. The pitch deck needs to be compelling and the story needs to be engaging. The reasons for failure, so why pitch decks fail, is really usually only 4 reasons. Number one, the company's not fundable. Again, some of the pitch decks and the businesses that I get sent, their ideas they're not even businesses in a lot of cases. They've never produced a single dollar. It's just an idea. So an idea is not necessarily a company, and it's not necessarily means it's going to be funded. Now, there are some ideas that are fantastic and do have legs, but it just can't be an idea alone. It has to be something behind it. I usually ask clients, have you done any research? Have you done any impact studies? Have you surveyed 100 people on whether this is a good idea or not? And most of the time they're going to say no. A weak story, again, the idea may be good, but the story behind it doesn't really tie in. Poor presentation, and that's usually where I come in with my pitch deck reviews or the pitch deck rewrites. Of the 500 presentations that I've been sent, only 20% of them are good enough where I would say, hey, I don't need to even touch this. This is fantastic. And even good enough where I don't say, hey, you need to fix page 8 or 12 or something like that. And incomplete slides. The pitch deck industry is kind of old school. It hasn't changed much. I like to use the term, it's kind of like the construction helmet. If you go on a construction site, you're going to see all these yellow and white plastic helmets with a bit of plastic and a bit of foam padding inside. They haven't changed the construction helmet in 50 years. Maybe because there's no reason to, or maybe because nobody has been smart enough to come up with something a little bit better. So that's why the format of the slides is really important. So reality check, finding investors. Now that's the next part of the process of doing your fundraising. It's a highly competitive landscape. Every compelling startup is vying for a limited pool of investor attention. Relationships matter beyond numbers. Trust and network play pivotal roles in securing funding. The odds are that when you start fundraising, you're going to get funding for somebody that you already know, whether it's friends and family, mother or dad, uncles, aunts, second cousins, previous bosses, previous people you worked with. Those are the type of people that are going to end up giving you the first bit of funds, and that might only be $10,000 or $20,000 to kind of get you rolling. But the relationships matter. Alignment is key as the next step. If you don't have somebody you know, it's somebody who you can align with. It's not just about finding any investor, but the right investor whose vision aligns with yours. So that's really something key. I've always found it quite interesting how two people that smoke can have a commonality by just one saying, hey, do you have a light? And it may be as simple as that, but I've noticed that, and being a non-smoker, I've always noticed it, that people who smoke are able to strike up a conversation without having anything in common other than the fact that they both smoke. Leverage databases, that's another thing that I come in line with for my service on Fiverr. I've got over 400,000 investor contacts. Utilizing comprehensive investor databases can streamline the search and increase your chances of finding the perfect match. I know that whenever I've looked for a job, and I've been in sales and marketing and investor strategy for most of my career, and whenever I've gone out on an interview, there's two things that come up: is what type of database do you have? And that's something that I ask the company that I'm going to work with, and it's something that the HR or the hiring manager will ask me. We both want to know, what do you have in your database? And that's really key. And the roadmap, 5 key steps to funding. 1, preparation. 2, a plan. And 3, a build. 4, pitch and track the results. And 5, negotiate and sell, or in other words, get the funds. Now the problem is too many people start at number 4, which is the pitch and track. They haven't done the early parts to prepare. How are you going to start a business? What is your plan? How are you going to build it out? Now there's a key thing to remember about businesses is that having started a business doesn't necessarily mean it has to be this big business that attracts investors and gets funding. It could be something very small. I've launched 3 or 4 businesses. Not all of them have been successful, but it all started off with before I find a way how I want to raise funds. And raising funds could mean traditional route, going to a bank and saying to getting a business loan, saying, hey, I have a business plan here. I'm looking to start a business doing X, Y, Z. Well, a lot of that has to do with how you do the prep and the plan and build in the very beginning. It's a lot easier to get a business loan if the business is already running. And that's the same with raising capital for a startup. It's a lot better to have it actually running in some capacity. Again, too many people start at number 4. So startup pitch deck rating scale. And this is based on 500 pitch decks I've seen in 9 months. I get most of my clients on Fiverr. If you've checked my profile, you can see I've been doing this for over 2 years. I've got a number of gigs. I'm a level 2 seller, which means I have a record for delivery and very good customer ratings. So basically I have 5 different types of ratings that I give pitch deck. Now, starting off with 25% of the pitch decks that I review, and that means those that are not acceptable, were created by Fiverr sellers. I'm not saying that all Fiverr sellers are bad at creating pitch decks, but that just happens to be the house that I'm living in as far as where I'm getting most of my clients coming to me. And so basically is bad. 10% need a full overhaul. In other words, they're really, really, really bad. Incomplete, this means the pitch deck has potential, but it's missing some key elements, and that is about 15% of them. Satisfactory has good potential, but needs tweaks to structure or content. That would be about 30% of the 500 fell into that. Good, looks good, but has a few minor issues that need resolving. Now that usually means that I can't resolve it by just sending them back a note saying, hey, could you, again, tidy up page 5, or you left out something on page 4 or page 2, you've got a couple typos. No, good means it's worth me taking a look at, worth you getting a pitch deck review from me. And again, excellent, that's ready for investors in any way. So about 20% of them are so good. I say, listen, you don't need my service. I don't need to look at it. You're good to go. Now, what I do tell people is before you order a pitch deck review from me on Fiverr, is send me your pitch deck first. You don't want to be one of the ones that pays the $40 to have me say, hey, I can't help you, and I don't want to cheat you. So let's not waste each other's time with that. But one thing that is really key is based on 500 pitch decks that I've seen. So that's about 80. So that's about 400 of them should not be sent out to investors. Now, there's no way 400 of them are coming to me and hiring me to do pitch deck reviews. Many of them send me their pitch deck because they want other services. They want me to write investor letters. Or they want me to help them with target profiling for investors. So only a small percent of these people hire me for pitch deck reviews, and some people never come back. They just disappear into the ether, and you have no idea what they've done. But one key point here is pitches need to be excellent, period, or you are wasting your time. If you're sending your pitch deck out and you're part of this group up here, you are going to find that the most serious eyes and that are going to take a look at your pitch deck, and if they see things that are wrong in it, they're probably going to say, how can I invest in a company or a founder who can't even have a pitch deck that has proper format, has spelling mistakes, has got their numbers wrong, doesn't have the right information on it. So that's why you have to be excellent and you're not just good. Now, to become excellent, pitches need to be about 3 minutes or under. Simple imagery. They need to have about 3 to 5 bullet points per slide. Pitch deck is not meant to be stuffed full of copy. And the bullet points need to support the title. And that's really, really key in making a perfect pitch. Now here's a pro tip, is try to create the pitch deck yourself in draft format before you engage with an advisor to make one for you. Again, the pitch deck industry is massive, but the best pitch decks are made by actually you creating the first draft, which is going to be bad or poor and very imperfect, but that's the best way for you to approach anybody to create a pitch deck. Now I can do a pitch deck rewrite on a first draft that you've done, but I can't create a pitch deck usually from just you giving me a broken business plan. That's another thing, is remember, you need to have a business plan to make a pitch deck, and those it has to be in that order. Now, you can make a pitch deck with the business plan, but the best pitch decks are created first by the founder taking a blank piece of paper, those 10 or 12 pages that are needed in a pitch deck, and starting their outline. It's kind of like if you want to write a book, you do have to start out with a piece of paper and you have to start writing. So, pitch deck review and rewrite services. So this is where I come in. My rewrite services, it usually takes about 4 hours to rewrite a pitch deck that falls into the category of bad or incomplete. This is not a copywriting exercise. It is a business and marketing exercise. I charge clients $195 for this. Now, some people will charge you between $500 to $6,000 for the same, and yes, there's very well-known people on the internet that will charge you $6,000 to get your pitch deck in order, and they'll also give you coaching on how to present yourself and how to do this and that. Now, some of these people have never been in business, raised funds, or had significant experience with high net investors. I have all these qualifications and more. I've been handling business and high net worth investors and very large ticket item sales for years and years and years. And so therefore I know how to structure a document. And you can't really get that by sending your pitch deck out to somebody who may have not been in the same type of business. They may have an MBA. They may have a couple years of experience doing some sort of business analysis, but it really, really makes a difference if you're able to look at a pitch deck like I am and say, well, here's why you got to make these changes, and it's because you're targeting the industry completely wrong. You can't get that by using just good copywriting skills. So the rewrite services are more for people who have already written a pitch deck and it needs to be completely formatted, and that's why it's $195. And again, you can look on Fiverr and find people for $500, and you can find people on the internet doing it for $600 if you want a full package and life coaching and all that nonsense, which to be honest most people don't. If you're trying to raise under $250,000, you do not need to pay somebody $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to put your pitch together. Review services come at a lesser rate. This is more for people who have already got a pitch deck out there or have already been through 3 or 4 or 5 revisions. I've seen up to 35 revisions for pitch decks, which is high. If you've got 20 or 30 revisions on your pitch deck, you might want to analyze the people who are actually helping you create that, because you probably don't need that many. My review service is really simple. I take your pitch deck, I go through it page by page, I include some rewriting where needed. In other words, I'll help you fix a couple broken slides, but I'm not going to rewrite the whole thing. But it also includes direction on how to restructure the pitch deck, because almost always your pitch deck is going to be wrong. Although the information is out there to help you get this done, again, out of the 500 pitch decks that I receive, in the last 9 months, there's about 400 of them that got it wrong to begin with. And that's good that you've come to help. But if you've gone out into the market to some of the investors in my databases, and I have a couple emails that are embedded into my investor databases, and I see not necessarily the people that have sent me their pitch decks, but I see some really broken pitch decks. So I say, why are you going to purchase a database at maybe a couple $100 or even higher, and then send a broken pitch deck out to them? Some people are stubborn, they just don't want to change their pitch deck. My sense is if you founded a company, you're really good at that, you're really good at growing a business, and leave the pitch deck to eyes of somebody who may have seen a few hundred in their lifetime. So make your pitch deck stand out. The first impressions, your deck is the initial gateway for investors into your business. A compelling, clear, and polished deck significantly enhances your chances of securing that crucial meeting. Now the second point is the most important one, contents over aesthetics. While visuals matter, the depth and alignment of your contact with investor needs are crucial. It's about the story, presentation, and relevance. Now there are many people, not only on Fiverr but on the internet, that can put together graphics that will blow you away and make your story look so fantastic. But the most important thing that you've forgotten is the content is wrong. So get the content done first. The content in black and white on a plain pitch deck. Then you can give it to a creator, but don't do it the other way around, because if you've given me a pitch deck to get reviewed and it's been doctored around by somebody that's used a lot of imagery and too many graphs and too many charts and too many shoutouts, it's going to be hard for me to fix. And by the way, you're going to blow $300 on somebody in the graphic design business that doesn't know a single thing about your market, how to do the strategy, who you're pitching to. All they know is how to make really, really good presentations. So put the horse before the cart is what they usually will say. My expertise, and again, as your strategic ally, I offer a review and rewrite service designed to optimize your presentation, put your business in its best light. So invest in impact and precision first. And you can see on the right, and when you click the link below to my Fiverr gig, I do pitch deck reviews, and as of September 2023, over 36 clients have used my service, and so far have given me a pretty good rating. And good news, databases are now free with a pitch deck review. That's one sector only per client. Contact me for more details on this offer. So are you looking for updated investor databases? My databases have over 400,000 verified global contacts, and that's in venture capital, private equity, family offices, single and multi, angel investors, angel groups, and high net worth investors. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Again, click my link below for more information, and give my video a like and share it, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching.